All right, so this is the storage unit that we were doing. Super small, not a lot of stuff. He made it look bigger on the video. I feel like that's sometimes how it goes. It's either more or less than we expect. Speed packing all the large pictures and the mirrors and whatever miscellaneous stuff we can fit in between. This is why I talk so highly about mattress bars. I can carry all those things at once. I would otherwise be awkward to carry, especially the large round mirror. And then you can still fill in miscellaneous stuff. Whatever fits between this bar works. This and this we're going to stick in the speed pack facing upwards, and then we're going to basically hook this in at the top, fill in anything small and trash related on the side, and then those two copper pots we'll probably just shove in there as well, and that'll be it. We'll be out here on one trip. And that's everything. Got all the miscellaneous stuff in the speed pack. This will still fit through the door in front. Bigger furniture, dolly on top. We ended up not needing it. So everything off the floor, one trip, easy peasy. He's taking that stuff there. I'll help him bring it down once I get my stuff down. What's going on, everyone? Chris here with clutter reduction, junk removal. That storage job was a little easier than I thought it was going to be. I actually called him like a half a truck, and he was like, I don't think it's that much. And I was like, well, your video is kind of fuzzy and it's hard to see, and like that's just what it looks like in the video. And obviously that wasn't the case, so I knocked it down and adjusted the price, and he was like, you're always so fair. And then he gave me an $80 tip. I was like, all right, well, thanks. I wanted to talk a little bit about some tips that I have learned over time with starting up a junk removal business. If you're looking to do that this year, this is around the time that I first started getting my jobs when I first started. I spent the fall of 2020 kind of preparing everything and very, very shittily making a website. It was pretty bad. I had like multiple people be like, that's terrible, go redo it. I ordered business cards on Vistaprint, stuff like that. And then I was cutting out my own flyers on Microsoft Word, just hand cutting them like 100, 200 at a time. I was like on a budget. And that's what I think everybody should be doing. So I didn't get my first job until January 3rd, which was actually a family member that I helped declutter a garage. And that's going to lead into the first tip. So when you first start off your junk removal business, set aside like $50, $100 into marketing material, aka business cards, and go as cheap as you possibly can. Get the basic of basic. I'm talking rectangle, thin, no rounded corners, no matte, no premium, no cardstock, 16 point. No, the most basic thing you can. Have your name, your phone number, and what you do on it. That's it. Super fucking simple. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hand those business cards out everywhere for free. Don't go anywhere that's going to charge you for something. For free. Go to storage units, go to apartment buildings, go to senior living facilities, go to realtor offices. Go by your local shopping plazas and go store to store, talk to the manager. Go to a shopping mall and go inside the stores until security asks you to leave. Do whatever you can to get your card out there. I wouldn't go pushing boundaries of putting cards like on windshields anymore, because now we all know that's kind of frowned upon. But do what you can legally without breaking rules and pass out your information. And of course, ask your friends and family, like send out a mass text message or an email or post it on your social media. Say, hey, everyone, just started up a junk removal business. Super excited about it. This is the kind of stuff we're going to be doing. And this is what I can help you with. Please share it with everyone around you. You know, you can even say friends and family get a 15% discount. For my first 50 customers, we're going to be giving a $25 discount away for a startup promotion. Just something to give people an incentive. And then just blast that everywhere you possibly can. Post on Facebook, post on Nextdoor, post on Instagram, create a Google My Business, post on their daily. Yelp, post on their daily. Post everywhere so you can start building your SEO traction ahead of time if you have a website. Even if you don't, you can still post on your social medias. Instagram, message direct businesses local to you. Say, hey, we're a junk removal business. This is what we can do. This is how we can solve your problem. Done. Leave a contact number. You don't have to sit there and do this whole long fucking paragraph. Keep it simple, to the point, as less stressful as you can for you and less time consuming for the people reading it. Easy. Then, from the money you start making, pull from the profit only to supplement your costs. Let's say, for example, your first month you do 6-7 jobs, you make $2,000. Awesome. from that $2,000, figure out how much money you need to operate your business or your side hustle, set it aside, pay off whatever you need to, pay yourself whatever you're planning on paying yourself, whether it's a percentage or an amount per an hour or whatever, maybe an amount per a job. And then if you had to pay anybody else, whatever, that leftover amount, let's just say $700, for example, you're going to take that $700, you're going to separate a small chunk and put it in savings. So in case next month you're a little slow, you have some backup. That leftover amount, let's call it 300. You're going to use that 300. You're going to go buy more marketing material. You're going to go buy equipment that can help you get your jobs done easier and or more efficiently. And then you're going to go buy something that can help grow your business. So maybe you go get flyers, maybe you go get door hangers, yard signs, something you can post up and let people see for weeks at a time before it disappears versus just a business card that's hand to hand. So you're just creating more ways of people finding you. And then you're going to shop cheaply. Use e-marketing. I'm not the only YouTuber that uses it. Use e-marketing is a local business in Texas. They do free shipping. They price match if you can find an eligible business that does it cheaper. And they are pretty freaking cheap. I used to use Vistaprint when I first started. I think 500 business cards is like $56. Use e-marketing. You can get 1,000 business cards for $28. You can sit there and custom design it however you want. They also have pre-made design templates, and junk removal is one of their services on there. So you can literally just pull somebody else's thing, edit in your information, and then you're done. So you don't even have to sit there and design it if you don't think you're creative. It's easy. You can do that for yard signs, brochures, door hangers, flyers, postcards, business cards. The list goes on. You can buy signage for your truck and trailer. You can buy vinyl banners. You can buy car magnets for your personal vehicle. It doesn't even have to be a truck. It can be a car. I started with a car and put magnets on the side. And if anybody were ever to be rude enough to ask, I could say, oh, well, this is my company vehicle. So start small, start cheap, organic marketing until you can afford to do something more extravagant like Google Ads, which costs a little bit of money, but we'll get there eventually. The third thing is to study everything that you are doing and that you are perceiving from other people and customers. Number one, find out how people heard about you. From your very first freaking job, I don't care if it came from a family member. Write that down. Say, job invoice 001, family, how they heard about me. Let's say your second job, storage unit. Great, write down storage. Next job came from a realtor. Write down realtor. What you're going to do is you're going to record how people heard about you. And at the end of every month or quarter or year, you're going to look back and tally up all those different ways people found out about you. You will start to see patterns, I promise. Whatever ones gave you the most results and or the most money, you are going to focus on those in the future. You're not going to forget the rest, but you're going to put more focus on the ones that bring you the most results. Let me explain it in simpler terms. Let's say you have 100 jobs in a year. 30 of those jobs came from realtors. 50 came from Google, and the other 20 was a mixture of storage units, apartment buildings, random businesses calling you for something, maybe overstock cardboard or whatever, and then maybe people just saw you driving on the road. Okay, you have Google, search results, organic, you have realtors. Those are your two biggest money winners right there. So guess what? Next year, you're going to focus on your SEO times 100. You're going to focus on realtors. You're going to go to every freaking office in the damn county. You're going to message every single person on Facebook and Instagram and say, hey, we've done a lot of work for so-and-so. This is how we can help you solve your problem. Send it off. You are focusing on those two things with like 80% of your energy because they promise to yield large results. That other 20%, that was a large mixed bag of sources. You didn't forget about those. You're still messing with them, but your big focus is these guys. Until one day, maybe realtors just start to slow down a little. Change your focus. Don't sit there and wait. Oh man, I used to be really good with realtors. Now they're kind of dying out on me a little bit. Let me try to get them back. Fuck it. Move on to the next source. There are too many sources out there to be stuck on just one. And I would focus drastically on that one tip. How people heard about you. It is such a freaking important thing. And a lot of people don't ask. Every time somebody calls you, even if they just call and say, hey, how much should we move a couch? Usually they're just price shopping. They're probably going to hang up on you the moment you say something. Before you do anything, say, no problem. Be happy to answer that question for you. First of all, how did you hear about us?
And you could say, depending on how you heard about me, I might provide a discount if it came from a realtor or something. But find out their location and then find out how they heard about you. Even if they don't go with you, oh, they saw me from a yard sign. Great. I know that is getting people's attention. The second part of that is closing the deal. But that initial point is the very important one. And that's what you want to focus on. And then eventually you can work on your sales and making sure your pricing is all good and all that fun stuff. But I would drastically focus on that one tip. And then in addition to that, when I say tracking, make sure you're tracking your expenses so you know roughly how much money you're spending in different fields every month, so you know how to budget for the future months. Kind of going back to pulling from profit, you want to be able to prepare for these things so that way you're not pulling $600 one month and then you're pulling $300 the next and then $1,000 the next month. Keep it controlled so that way you can keep everything tight and fit. You don't want to just be all over the place spending money left and right, because you're going to probably end up in the wrong path, and you're probably going to have some financial issues later down the road, which just adds stress on top of running a business already, which is stressful. So don't do that. In addition, keep track of your jobs in terms of what's your average job size. Keep track of how often are you doing minimum pickups? How often are you doing full loads? The reason I say this is if you do a lot of minimum pickups, consider making that like a specific niche. Really push for that. So when you do social media posts, maybe comment about saying how you focus on minimum pickups. A lot of companies, 1-800 Got Junk, their minimum pickup price is like $229. That's a lot. I don't care what area you're in. That's a lot of money for a minimum pickup. Most people are between like 75 and 150. So if you get a lot of minimum pickups, that isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you can use that to your advantage. In reality, I have a 6.5 by 12 foot trailer behind me. If I go do one full load, it's like $500-600. If I go pick up 8 to 10 minimum pickups at $100 a piece, which is how much I can fit in there depending on the size, that's $600 to $800 or more. That's $600 to $1,000. And just that one little thing. It's just little pieces at a time. The only difference is you're driving around and probably spending more time in between, but you're getting more profit out of it. And you don't have to go to the dump as often. So minimum pickups aren't a bad thing, but I would also focus on that to maybe sell that as a niche. If you do a lot of full loads, that's good, but try to figure out how you can maybe make that more efficient. Try to find places you can donate, places you can scrap more efficiently, so you're not doing so much on the dumping, because if you're doing a lot of full loads, you're probably dumping a lot too, there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to be the perfect person and go donate everything, but it may be a costly factor, and you may want to learn just how to trim down the fat a little bit. And then the last thing is something that I personally feel very attached to, and that is to grow at your own pace. It is very hard sometimes, especially with social media nowadays and even YouTube. You come on YouTube, you look at my video, you go look at somebody else's video. Everyone's telling you these 10,000 things to go do, just like I am right now. Take it all with a grain of salt, but stick to what you want and move at the pace that works for you. Not everybody is in this game to go make $1 million the first year. And if that's your goal, that's fine. It's okay to have that goal. But if you don't make it, don't get upset. Try again next year. It's better to shoot high and land low than it is to just keep it low and just hit that mark. Because if you don't quite hit your mark, but you aim really high, you might get pretty close because you're motivated that whole time. But when I say to move at your own pace, I see it all the time. But I've had people constantly say, hey, I just watched 10 of your videos. It looks like you're still kind of hanging around the startup phases. That's fine. I'm perfectly content with what I'm doing. I have my own game plan of growing, and I'm going to stick to it. If I start letting everybody else's opinions start waving me off course, I might jump into something I'm not prepared for, and on paper, it might be capable of growing, or on paper, or compared to somebody else, it might be a super simple task. But for me personally, it might be something that's too much for me, either at the moment because of lack of experience, lack of knowledge, or lack of will. And I think that's an issue that crushes more people than it helps build. I think the peer pressure of the outside world judging and assuming that you should be growing at X% rate, and you should be doing X amount per dollars per day, and you should be doing X amount of jobs per month, I think that crushes a lot of people's motivation. It might seem like in the very beginning, oh wow, they do $2,000 a day, that's fucking awesome. I want to do that too. I'm going to push for that. I'm going to grind for that every single day. And that's great. But if you're not hitting those numbers, don't feel defeated and think, oh, fuck, this isn't going to work out. That's okay. Run at your own pace. Not everybody is ready to just start off and just blow up like 1-800-GOT-JUNK does. Things take time. If you want to rush and push for it, go for it. If you just kind of want to do this as a side hustle, it's just some extra income. If it gets busier, you'll adapt. I think that's a better route. I think adapting to your surroundings as they grow and or get worse is the best thing you can do. And that's just my opinion. So again, take everything you hear with a grain of salt. But that is pretty much it for me. I just wanted to throw out those tips. Those are the things that stick out to me the most because I was reminiscing about when I first started because I just got my new trailer today. So I was reminiscing about how I first started, and I was thinking about like, oh, I wish I can go back and do these few things. Like they're not so much. I can name you 50 things that I would change, but there's a few things that like I really wish I honed in on or continued to grow with knowledge and or experience in that one specific tip. So I hope that gives you guys some ideas if you're looking to start junk removal this year, and I hope that helps. That was a lot. That was all just off the dome on my head. No scripts. I'm actually not very good at doing scripts. I end up just like jumping around and I end up like, oh crap, I was supposed to say that point next. And I end up going back and it's just a mess. So 99% of the stuff I say is just on the spot, which is also why there's so much talking about. So, but that's it for me. We're going to go drop this off and then I need to start preparing for the build for my new trailer. I will try to do that maybe this weekend. We were going to do it Saturday, but we just booked a clean out job for a senior living facility apartment. So we'll see what happens, but I will see you guys next time. Hope everybody is staying busy for the new year, and I hope everybody is on track to accomplish their goals. I will see you all next time. Bye.